Recall that parsing is the process by which we convert the user input, which is a string, to the abstract syntax AST of the source string. Okay. So in this lecture I explain how this is done. So the parsing involves two things: break up the string into a list of tokens. This phase is called lexing, and then combine the tokens using the CFG, typically the context-free grammar of the language, to build the AST. Okay. Let us illustrate these two processes through our expression grammar. Okay. Recall that an expression is either a natural number, or it's expression plus expression, or expression star expression, or bracketed expression. This is the context-free grammar. This is the context-free grammar for expression. Let's talk about the tokens of this grammar. So what are the tokens or non-terminals terminals of this grammar? Okay. So if you look at it, n plus star and left bracket and right bracket are the terminals, tokens or terminals. Okay, so the lexical phase is breaking the string into list of tokens. Okay, so let's take some example input. Maybe not syntactically correct, so let's look at it. So you have two, let's say, followed by some spaces, maybe 4 or 5 spaces. Then you have plus, then you have, let's say, a star, then you have a bracket, then you have 3, then you have 4, then 45, let's say something like this, and bracket close. This is your input string. Okay, this is your input string. So how what happens to the this input string in the lexical phase? So just let's take this out. So there are so lexical phase. What happens? So first you see 2, so that is an n. Then some spaces, ignore them. Then you see plus, then you see star, these are tokens. Then you have left parenthesis. Then you see another n. Then you see another n that corresponds to 4. Then you see another n, and then you see a bracket, and then end of input. This is how you see the lexical phase associated with. This is how lexical phase looks like. Okay. Now to be precise, the n corresponding to 2 and the n corresponding to 3 is different. Okay. So the semantic value that you associate with a token might be different. Okay. So this strictly speaking, to illustrate the first n is the n corresponding to 2. So I am writing it in a square bracket to indicate that the semantic value of this n is 2. Then you have plus, its semantic value is plus itself, star, bracket, then you have n3, then you have n4, then you have n, let's say 45. Notice that it is not single digits that are counted as n, but that number n. Okay, and then you have the bracket. So this is how the lexical phase looks like. So let's come back to this this grammar. Recall that now the input is just a list of tokens, and one needs to combine these tokens and build the past. okay, or AST. So what do we mean by that? Okay, so recall that suppose you enter the number 2, the expression 2 plus 3 times 4. So this is the expression that you enter. Input this. Let's avoid ambiguity. The passing phase, this expression, when you give this input, the passing phase should kind of convert this into a tree, AST, which looks like this. Okay. Strictly speaking, what your parser sees is not this, but it should see the tokens. So n, a natural number which has the semantic value 2, and then it sees the plus token, then it sees the parenthesis token, then it sees the token n, which is 3, and then it sees the token plus star, then it sees n token 4, and then it sees the parenthesis token. Okay, so this is what comes as input to the parser, and this is the parser should build this tree. Now explain how this parsing works. Okay, so let's go back to the grammar. So the process is called syntax directed translation. Okay, the syntax here means the context-free grammar associated with the language. Okay, so one convention that I am going to follow whenever I write 2, I actually mean the token n whose semantic value is 2. Okay, so that you should understand. Okay, so how does the syntax directed translation work? The way to think about it, suppose let's say we have an input like 2 plus bracket n3 times n4. Okay, this is the input. This is the input. Okay, so we ask the question, how can you prove this to me? How can you prove that the above input is is a string in the language associated with the expression CFG? Okay, how can you associate? So what we do is we can think of these CFG rules as a production system where you generate string by replacing the left hand side with the right hand side. Okay, so the idea is think of the CFG as a string production system where any string of terminals union non-terminals generate strings by replacing the LHS with RHS. Okay, so you can think of this as a string production system. So let's illustrate that. Okay, so I do it by step. Okay, so the string that we currently have and the rule that I use. Okay. So let's so here let's look at the step. So you begin with the step 0 where you start with the starting symbol. Okay, starting symbol. Okay, now you can apply any of these rules. Okay, so because my goal is to get to this string, I will first apply the plus rule or the rule number 2. So I replace this by E plus E. This is rule 2. Okay. Then this is step 1. Step 2, I replace the rightmost E with, I always keep replacing the rightmost. There is no such, you don't have to do it that way, but for convenience I do it here. Okay. So E plus the rightmost rule I replace by the bracket rule. This is rule number 4. Okay, this is the rule number 4. Yeah, E is bracket E. Back. And the third step, E plus, then I replace it with E star E. Okay, this I have used rule number 3. Now you see where this goes. Fourth step, I replace it with E plus E star. Now here I use the fact that this is N. Okay, and that matches with my 4. Okay, and so this is rule number 1, and here it matches with N3 to be precise, that is 5. So let me use my convention, I will just write it as 3, 4, and finally this is again rule number 1, and finally the step 6, I can think of it as N plus 3 times 4, this N is 2. Okay, again using step 1. So this way, since I could derive this string by repeatedly replacing a non-terminal with one of its right hand sides, so hence 2 plus 3 times 4 is a valid expression, is in the which associated the expression. Let's go back to these rules and associate tree building rules. Okay, so for example, this projection we can associate the AST build as tree, the singleton tree with value as that of the n. Okay, so we can build this rule like this. Okay, what about this rule? So you have to E plus E. Think of this as E1 and E2. So the value that you associate with E1 is a tree. Value you associate with E2 is a tree, and this tree is root has plus, and E1 is left, and E2 is right center. Okay. Similarly, this rule can be associated with a tree building rule, which builds a tree with root star and E1 as a left and E2 as a right. Okay, so you can think of this as E1. And what about this? Well, bracketing does not change the meaning of the expression, so the tree is the same as E. The same tree as RHS. We can now explain the syntax directed translation as follows. So take the CFGs, think of it as a string derivation system. For each as a rule, associate an AST building semantics. Okay. Now if you have an input X, get the associated derivation and starting from the start symbol. Okay. The AST is a tree that you build by running the corresponding tree building rules. Okay. So for example, we use, if you look at this string, you start with E, and when here you have used rule 2, so you run the second tree building rule. Okay, out of these two things. and etc. etc. So that's how you can build the tree that you get here.